Hey guys, I hope y'all are doing well today. So we're going to be doing a second impression on the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brightener. So I did try this out in my last video. I did a first impression and wear test on it. I was very impressed with how this wore on my under eye area, but I wasn't totally satisfied with the color that I was getting for my skin because unfortunately this product doesn't have a shade that I think that I can use as like a skin tone eye brightener. So I used the shades Peach and Pumpkin and I played around with them as color correctors. I thought it looked okay on one eye, and then on the other eye I thought it looked a little bit darker because I was just having some issues with having to mix two shades together. So I played around with this again yesterday and I feel like the mixture that I came up with and the way that I applied it is a lot better for my skin tone, and I think I'm getting a good amount of color correction and a good amount of brightness from this product. So today I'm just going to mimic what I did yesterday. I'll show you guys how I mixed the two colors together and how I applied it and how we came up with this under eye situation, which I think looks a lot better than the first time that I tried this product out. So before we get into all of that, if you're new to the channel, hello, welcome. My name is SonyaNicole. I post new videos here every week, including some stuff for makeup lovers who are 40 and over. So I really hope that y'all will consider subscribing while you're here today. I would really appreciate your support and I would love to have y'all join the channel. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. So I have the shades Peach and Pumpkin in the Bright Fix, and I wanted to show y'all some hand swatches just in case you haven't seen what they look like. So this one is the Peach and that one is the Pumpkin. So when I tried to use these the first time, I did kind of like a 50-50 mix of both of these shades, but I think it was still a little too orange for my skin tone. So I'm just going to show you how I mixed the two yesterday and the color that I came up with, and I think it worked out a lot better for my skin tone. Okay, I'm going to try to show y'all this without giving you too much of a glare, but that's how much of the peach I used. I did end up having to mix up way more than I used yesterday, so unfortunately I would say a good amount of it did kind of go to waste, but this was the only way I could mix it up to get like the right color. So that's how much peach I used, and then this is about how much pumpkin I used, and I may even take some of that pumpkin off. It might be too much, but I just wanted to show y'all that I put in just a little tiny bit of the pumpkin in with the peach. So I'm gonna mix this up and show y'all the color that I come up with. It has to be like a really straight like salmon color for me. Okay, so this is the color that I have, and as you can see it's kind of like a lighter version of pumpkin. So if they had a color like this would be the perfect thing for me for color correcting. So now I'm gonna also show you how I applied it. I'm gonna do it just on one eye so that we can compare one eye to the other. So this is the brush that I used the last time I tried to apply this. It's very tapered, very dense, very precise. And let me just show you what it looks like compared to my usual concealer brush. So of course I can't find my concealer brush. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is what I normally use to apply my concealer. This is the Rare Beauty foundation brush. So just so that y'all can see the two of them side by side, they're both very dense and tapered, but this one that I'm going to be using today is just very precise. It's going to cover a lot less surface than this one. So I'm just going to pick up some of my product here, and then I am going to eventually kind of spread the product down, but the reason I'm using this type of brush is because I want to concentrate most of it like closer to the under eye area where I have the most darkness. So I'm just going to start by patting this on. And you see how that's much more of like a salmon-y color than like just using peach by itself. I feel like my brush is still a little damp. I just washed this earlier today, but I'm just gonna keep like patting this on, and I'm also gonna drag it up into this inner corner to try and get those the marks for my glasses as well. And then I'm just gonna spread it around to the outer part of my eye. And then I'm just going to keep patting it on until I feel like it's as blended as it needs to be. And then I also took some of this product and then I dragged it up on my lid a little bit. I got a little bit of it on my brow just now, but I put some of it up here just to try and camouflage. I have like a dark shadow like right here, so I also use that to try and camouflage that area as well. Now, I did watch a bunch of reviews on this, and a lot of people were saying that they think that this is a hydrating formula. I'm going to go on the outer part of my lid too. I just don't think that this is hydrating like that. Like, it's definitely not drying, but I don't think it's all that hydrating either. So, and then I'm going to take the clean side of the brush, and then I'm just going to kind of blend this harsh line out. I do still have to go on top of this with my foundation, so that'll help me blend it too, but just so that it's not looking totally harsh. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna call this shade Salmon. So this is like the salmon shade. This is the pumpkin and the peach mixed together. So let me know what you guys think. I do still see some darkness like right up in here. So it's not like, this product is just not meant to give you like as much coverage as a full coverage concealer or a full coverage corrector. But I think for this product being so thin and lightweight, it is giving a good amount of coverage. So let me know what you guys think. This is the eye with the product on versus nothing over here. So I think this little concoction here, if you can like use me as a shade reference, I think this is good for both color correcting and brightening. So hopefully if there's any chance of them extending the range in here, they will come out with a shade like this, because I think this looks really nice. But so I'm gonna quickly do my other eye, and then we'll do the skin tint on top so we can see what everything looks like. Okay, so here's what it looks like on both eyes, but before I go on to the skin tint, I am going to build it up on my under eye a little bit just so that you can see what it looks like, because the first time that I used this, I was really impressed at how it wore on my under eye, but the second time that I tried it out, I did put more of this product on, and I feel like it did crease a little bit, but I did have more of the product on, so I think that that's to be expected when you're layering it on. Just if you have like more of the product on your skin, I think it's more likely that it might end up creasing. So it still wore very nicely, but it did crease up a little bit, whereas on day one I didn't see any creasing at all. But I'm going to put another layer on top of this just so that you can see how it builds up. It's still not going to build up to full coverage because this just isn't a full coverage product, but I do think that you can somewhat build on top of it. I'm gonna try to concentrate this second layer like right here and not drag it out so much, and just try to keep it like right where I have most of my darkness. Okay, can y'all see on this eye where I put the second layer that it is a little brighter? I feel like it did give me a little more coverage, but again, it's just not going to completely conceal anything because it just doesn't have that much coverage to it. Okay, I'm gonna build on this eye just so that they're even. Okay, so this is what my under eye looks like, and I do think that it looks nice and bright and somewhat concealed. I think there's like a very stark difference on my face right now, but when I go in with my foundation, everything will kind of balance out. Now, to color correct around my mouth, I do think that I need a little bit of a darker color compared to what's on my under eye. So I'm gonna use a little bit more of the pumpkin. I actually used a good amount of this product, but I hope you can see like how much I have left on my little plate here. But I'm gonna put a little bit more of the pumpkin in here because around my mouth, I just feel like what I have on my under eye is just gonna be too light for around my mouth. So I'm just going to pick up, I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to color correct like right on the sides of my mouth. But you guys see how that's a little bit deeper in color? And then I'm just kind of blending outward from my mouth just to, again, like get rid of the harsh edges. I'm also going to correct right here. I'm not going to do my whole cheek area like I did the first time. I'm just going to correct like the darkest spots, I guess, on my cheek. And let me do this one over here too. I just want you guys to be able to see how it corrects some of these spots. So I think you guys can see that it didn't conceal anything, like it didn't completely cover it up, but it just made them look like not as harsh. But I'm not gonna bother like doing my whole cheek. I more so wanted to show you guys the under eye technique. Okay, so let me quickly do my foundation and then we'll see what all of that looks like. So I'm gonna be mixing the skin tints in shades 15 and 17. I actually meant to set my under eye before I went in with my foundation, so I'm just going to take my sponge and just lightly dab over the under eye area just to make sure everything is nice and flat so I can go in and set this. And I'm going to be setting it with my L'Oreal True Match powder and C5. Now this is a cool toned powder. I do wish that I had more of like I guess a translucent powder, but I like using pressed powders for my under eye, and the only two pressed ones that I have, they're cool undertones. But I think if I had something that was more translucent, it would just pair better with the color of this product because they're more of like peachy orangey shades. So I mean, this one is so light that you can't really see it. I guess it does kind of come off translucent anyway, but I'm basically putting like a cool tone shade on top of like a peachy orangey shade. So I do wish I had something that was a bit more translucent than this, but this one works. Okay, so with my foundation you can still see some blemishes and stuff, but when I wear this particular product, I like to build it up just to this because it's meant to be more like a no makeup type of look. You can build this up to more coverage than this, but you know, for me this is just fine for just like, you know, lighter makeup days, I guess. And for the rest of my makeup, I'm doing the same routine that I did in the first video when I tested out the Bright Fix. So I'm gonna skip through so we can see the final look, but I will have everything that I'm wearing listed in my description box. Okay, here's my finished look for today. So again, with the Bright Fix, I do think the way that I mixed up these two colors today, I am getting a good amount of brightness. And again, this isn't going to give you as much coverage as your full coverage concealer, but I do think that I like the level of brightness that I'm getting and the color correction that I'm getting on my under eye as well. So let me know what y'all think. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.